knew I wanted to be a teacher. Even when I was a child in elementary, my teacher would go over the homework assignment, and then I'd go home, stand in front of the mirror, and I would repeat everything that my teacher would say. And my sister would always make fun of it. She goes, "You're kind of odd. You're talking to yourself in front of the mirror." And I said, "Yes, but I remember everything that way." So my sister told me, "You know what, maybe one day you'll be a teacher." And I took that to heart. My memorable teaching moments are nonstop. Every day in pre-K is an adventure. You never know what's going to come out of a 4-year-old's mouth or what they're going to do. Especially like the aha moments, they're really cool. You have that child that's struggling, maybe learning their letters or their numbers, and then all of a sudden, that little light bulb just turns on and you see the excitement in their face, and that to me is priceless. I love my job. I will be completing my 18th year here at Ed Downs. I did my college hours here, I did my student teaching here, and I just never left after that. I have a great family that I come and work with every day, and I'd like to thank my colleagues and my administrators, and especially the children that have impacted my life. And I feel blessed to work here at Ed Downs. Every child has gifts. They just open at different times. My name is Ermelinda Silva, and I am a teacher.
I wanted to be useful. I didn't want to have some theoretical job where I wrote about things or did things that didn't matter to real people in the world. I wanted to live and work in a place where people need to be at school every day. I want them to feel like they can express themselves. I think a lot of kids think it's just another class, and reading and writing is something that I have to do. But I want them to feel like the ability to say what they mean and say it well is something that gives them power in the world. A student, it was about a month ago in January, she came in at the beginning of the year and she was reading at a 3rd grade level. And our big goal for all students is that everybody grows 2 years in reading. And she had never read before and never liked to read. And because of the independent reading project that we do all year, she had been reading for the first time and enjoying it. And I got to retest her reading level last month, and I was able to tell her that in half a year she had already grown 2 years, and that it was going to be possible for her to really catch up and be on grade level. And that was amazing. I want my students to be at the table of power. My name is Miranda Cohen, and I'm a teacher.
First of all, I acknowledge them with a smile, and I talk to them, because most of the time, I remember some of my teachers, when I was little, they never acknowledged me. So I don't want to do that to my kids. I acknowledge each and every one of them, even if it's a hello or just a smile. But once they get into the classroom and we start working and learning, and I start seeing their smiles, because they come in with their frowns. And when I see them turn those frowns upward, then I know that I'm doing my job as a teacher. And if they walk away with a little bit of me with them, then, I'll walk away with all of them with me every year, every school year. I always walk away with all my kids. So if they see me as a mother figure, that's perfectly fine for me, because I know I've taught them throughout the whole school year. When I see one of my students that's really struggling, I'm really struggling to the point where they want to give up. And then I just go to them, and then I'll give them individualized instruction, or just talk to them. And then they get, even if it's just a vocabulary word that they don't understand, and then they understand the meaning to it, and then they light up. That's memorable right there. And I always have those type of moments. Every year I have those. I want my students to believe in the magic of their dreams, because they do come true. My name is Florestella Mendieta, and I'm a teacher.
I'm an engineer. I'm a geologist. So I did work as an engineer prior in Mexico. But here in the United States, my background experience is pretty much upper management in production. So it came a time in life when I just didn't want to get involved with manufacturing. I wanted to do something for a human being, not with numbers. Being with my wife for 23 years, we never got the opportunity to get kids. So before I retire in my productive life, I wanted to become a role model for some kids. Even if it's not going to be my kids, there's got to be somebody else's kids that I could be a role model for. It'll be nice then somebody remembers me as a person who did good, as a person who tried to help them mold through life. What I always go and use the word respect pretty much across every day in, day out. I remind them the word respect. If they have respect for what they do, they can accomplish anything they want. If they have respect for people around them, they can live a better life. Con la propia comunicación podemos resolver cualquier problema sin importar el obstáculo. Mi nombre es Rubén Figueroa y soy maestro.
She always helps you when you need to. She's a science teacher, but she always helps you with your math work, history. I mean, she's always there. She's awesome.
I had a high school English teacher. She was my AP senior English teacher, and oh goodness, I hated her at the time. I did. And probably some of the kids are going to say the same thing about me, and that's okay. But you know what? No matter what the issue was, she was right there with us, pushing us every day, refusing to take whatever excuse that we had for her. I hope that my students will remember me the same way I remember my high school English teacher, as the teacher who would take the time to help them out, as the teacher who would take the time to let them know that they're important and that their issues and the things that they struggle with are things that everybody struggles with, and that doesn't define them as a person, that no matter what happened yesterday, they can be successful. So I guess really I hope more than anything that they remember me being their cheerleader. The best 3 days ever are the 3 graduation ceremonies that I have gotten to go through with the students who graduated from Gateway. Watching them have so much success is so joyous, and they're so happy, and their families are so happy, because this is something that a lot of them never thought they were going to do. And it's so fantastic to get to be a part of that with them. Every child has a face, every child has a name, and every student has a story. My name is Mary Tsadi, and I'm a teacher.
I really enjoy working with children, and my 8th grade home economics teacher, she really took the time to care about the students, and I wanted to be like that. Last year, one of my students who started the year, he, 2nd grader, couldn't read and just really struggling. At the end of the year, he's looking at his paper and he says, "I can write now. I can read now." And that was just like, wow, you know, this kid got it. To know that they can explore anywhere through books, and they can read and learn so many things by reading. To always be the best they can, and always expect the most out of themselves, and to work hard so they can be everything they can be. Practice makes perfect. My name is Joyce Cortez, and I am a teacher.
I wanted to go and work for CPS, and that changed when I had my own daughter, because I knew I wasn't going to have the time for it. So I decided, well, I had wanted to help children in the first place, so what better thing to do than to teach. I just love it when I see the kids and I see that they understand the concept and they're able to verbalize it. Like, that's the best feeling. Every morning, no matter what kind of day we had the day before, it's a brand new day. They come in, I greet them at the door, good morning, you know, let's have a good day. And I just try to have them stay positive and to believe in themselves, because that's what they need. I hope that they remember that when they can accomplish something, that they remember I would always tell them, you can do it as long as you try. Reach for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. My name is Bobby Jo Cruz, and I am a teacher.
There was a teacher that I had in 3rd grade many years ago, and the way she inspired me was that she would come into the classroom every day right after lunch, and she would read us a story, and it was a chapter story, and I even remember the name of the story she read us, all the details that were in the story. Every year is different, and every day is different in the classroom, and every year it's like the children say the funniest things. Sometimes they say the saddest things. The learning is very important. What I want them to take away is mostly have respect for each other, for each other's opinion, for who they are, for what they believe in, and not to be criticizing what they wear, what they say, where they come from. We talk a lot about respect in my classroom, because if we don't lay the foundation, that first, the respect for each other, then we don't value each other. So that's what I want my children to take with them. A teacher affects eternity. My name is Mary Perez, and I am a teacher.
I was a juvenile corrections officer before coming into teaching. What inspired me to come into the teaching field was because I saw a lot of kids come in with a lot of troubles. You know, they had either no foundations at home, broken homes, parents don't want them, so on and so on. As they went through the system, they went through to school there, and the biggest issue they had was math. And the teacher there would tell me, can you help them with math? Since I was going into a career in math, I was taking some classes in math at the college, and that was my career choice. I started getting more and more into teaching math. So that's what inspired me to become a teacher here and actually get my certification. A teaching moment, I think, that stands out to me, basically just making a difference in their lives. And you see the little glare in their eye where they're coming in all gloomy, and you know, you try to befriend them, and you know, you get their confidence, and all of a sudden they're working for you. I think that to me that's the teachable moment where it just snaps for this kid. You know what? They have a troubled life. They have whatever they have at home, but they make a choice to be here, not because they have to, because they want to. And I think that's a really moment that I feel that's really great. I know I'm making an impact in my students' lives by giving education. My name is Robert Romero, and I'm a teacher.
You have to be a student before you're a teacher. You have to continue to learn, and you have to continue to love to learn, because at the end of the day, that's what your job is. Your job is to help others learn. So if they see you excited about learning and you excited about the content and the content that you're delivering to them, they're gonna mimic that excitement, especially with the little ones. They see you and they're so excited to see you, and I see them and I'm so excited to see them. So it's a lot of TLC too. You know, you nurture them and you help them become better human beings. I'm here because of the student I was and the teachers I had. So this is exactly that, an honor. This is my job. My heart and soul is here. This is what teaching is about influencing students and changing their lives the way my teachers influenced my life and changed my life for the better, of course. John Dewey said that if we teach today's students as we did yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow. My name is Maria S. Garcia, and I am a teacher.
This year has been a wonderful year for me, and my students this year, I feel I've inspired them a little bit more. And one of my students told me, you know, Ms. Benavides, he said it like this: Ms. Benavides never lies to us. She tells us if we're gonna do better, and we do better. So that was really, for me, I really think about that a lot of the time, that they take what I tell them and they internalize it, and that makes me very happy. I want them to walk away with everything. I mean, I want them to feel that they can be successful. Even if they struggle, they can be successful. I want them to be good people. Above all, I want to tell them that they are why I come to work all the time. They are the reason I'm here. It's not for me, it's for them. I want them to do better, and that's what matters to me, and that's why I'm in teaching. I hope they remember me as, most of all, a good person, because I try to be a good person with them. I hope they remember that I inspire them to enjoy what they're learning, to always try their best. I really hope that they remember me that way. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. My name is Alma Benavides, and I am a teacher.
Bueno, mis hijos obviamente me enseñaron a mí a amar aún más esta carrera, y desde pequeña a mí siempre me gustaron los niños, siempre me sentí muy atraídas a ellos. Y cuando yo aprendí que tenía un amor por continuar aprendiendo y por continuar conociendo, fue cuando decidí que podía enseñar, que podía transmitir eso a otras personas. Yo trato cada día que ellos, al llegar aquí a la escuela, realmente esta sea una luz para su vida, para su día. Yo quiero afectarlos día con día y quiero que ellos al llegar aquí a este salón de clase se sientan en un mundo totalmente diferente. Y trato con mi mayor esfuerzo de que eso suceda, de que ellos estén en paz, tengan tranquilidad y puedan disponer su mente a aprender. Yo quisiera que ellos me recordaran como la luz que les pueda mostrar el camino por donde ellos pueden seguir, y también quisiera que me recordaran como alguien que realmente les importa. Un maestro impacta para la eternidad, porque él nunca podrá vislumbrar dónde su influencia va a terminar. Soy Elena Salinas y soy maestra.
Why become a teacher? It just kind of happened, actually, because I was set in my career. I was okay where I was at, but my brother-in-law kind of pushed me to it, and he's like, "You need to go get your certification in teaching. I'll pay for it." So it was just kind of a gift, and it just, I mean, right now, back then, I was like, "You're crazy. I can't work with kids," but after I did it, I was like, you know, this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, I see myself, you know, finishing my career as a teacher. I hope my students will remember me as somebody, or as a teacher that they had fun with. Not only had fun, but they also learned. And I like to teach them not just about book things. You know, I want to teach them more than just math, reading, science, and everything. I want to teach them about life. I want to teach them that, you know, there's other things out there, you know, there's other things that you need to learn, how you need to behave, and not just think of themselves just because they're special ed students or they learn differently, that, you know what, college is an option for them. And that, you know, I am expecting them to go to college. And so I hope they remember me as somebody who pushed and said, you know what, you know, Ms. Fonseca always believed in me that I would be a college graduate or I would be able to make it into college. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching what counts is even better. My name is Rudy Ann Fonseca, and I am a teacher.
My daughters were my main motivation in me becoming a teacher because I wanted to set the example for them. I was the first generation to graduate from high school, and nobody in my family had a degree. I started off as a volunteer parent, reading to students, and the teachers would tell me, "Oh, you need to go get your degree, you need to go get your degree," and I was just, yes, and that was just like in the back burner. But then as I did it more, I really enjoyed it. I always told them that they could do it, and that when they can't, and when they've done it, they're gonna say, "Oh, my teacher always believed in me." And when you tell them that they can, and they see you, that you care, they want to do it. Good morning, my beautiful children.
Good morning, Ms. Garcia.
How are you today?
Good. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And I'm glad to be here another wonderful and beautiful day with you. What kind of children are you?
Smart and special.
And what can you do?
Anything as long as we try.
That is right. Anything as long as you try. My students' lives are important to me, and I need to know where they're coming from in order for me to know where to take them. My name is Elizabeth Garcia, and I am a teacher.
I hope that they have like a really good image of me, that they come into my class and that they feel that they've actually learned something. So I want them to have this sense of security when they come into my class, and for them to remember, like, oh, she cared. She cared that she didn't like leave me behind, and that, you know, she was there to answer however many times it took, but, you know, she got her point across. I think that I want them to walk away with that they know that they have to put an effort, because a lot of the times they want to come in thinking that if they don't know the answer right away, then it's all lost. And what I want them to know is that even though they come in and they don't know it or they get it wrong, that they have to still put an effort, and for them to come in and to have an open mind. That's mainly the main thing that I want them to have from me, is that there is a possibility of working out different things, that it's not just going to be always my way or theirs, that there's an endless, and that they just have to be open to try it. I want to tell them that it's always going to be, like, math is going to be used everywhere, and for them to understand that that they just have to be open-minded. You never know what you can do until you try. My name is Terry Garcia, and I'm a teacher.
Why do I do what I do? Because it's a challenge. okay? And I do this because it's hard. I can go out there and do whichever other job, but that would be easy. So what I like about teaching is that it's hard, and every single day something different pops up, and you cannot, regardless of how well you plan your lesson plans, or regardless of how many times you look over your lesson plan, sometimes you might have to go off the cuff and throw away whatever you planned because the kids are not in the mood, or you're not in the mood, or things just don't work out the right way. So teaching off the cuff is something really, really important, I think, for any teacher to kind of learn. This is our job, is to get them to graduate high school and move on to their next step. So to see them walk across that stage and that feeling and that look on their face of validation is just awesome for me to see. I want them to at least walk away with the skill set that'll help them for any class, whether it's these thinking map strategies, or better communication skills, or just not being afraid to speak out and to take chances and really try their best at everything that they do. That's what I want them to walk away with. We don't teach because it's easy, we teach because it's hard. My name is Rudy Ramirez, and I'm a teacher.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. When I was a young girl, I've always wanted to be a teacher. And when I had my own family, I thought it was the best career choice for me. I just always wanted to be a teacher. I love children. A memorable teaching moment is when I was working with one of my students, and she just looked over and said, "Ms. Munoz, you're like a mom." And it just made me feel really good, because that's my goal, is just to teach these children like they're my own. They all have their families, and I just would want my kids to be treated this way. I try to make my students feel like this is their home, like they can do anything they want in here. Of course, it's with limits and that, but I just make them feel comfortable, and they know that they can come to me and talk to me when they have problems, and I'm really open about that. I hope my students remember me by being a caring and loving and just a nurturing teacher. They'll always remember and maybe come back and visit me when they're older. I always tell them to do that. To teach is to touch a life forever. My name is Monica Munoz, and I'm a teacher.
I never thought of doing anything else except teaching. I had summer jobs while I was going to school, but teaching was always my goal. I think what inspired me to teach was the fact that I had great teachers when I was in elementary school, and then even in high school. My parents were great teachers as well. In elementary, I had a 5th grade teacher, Sister James, that was an awesome teacher. She would get Teacher of the Year for sure. And then I had another teacher at high school, Sister Claude, who's actually a native of San Benito. Fantastic teacher. And I learned a lot from them, and I knew that I wanted to be just like them, so that inspired me to get into the field of teaching. I try to impress my students that there's nothing greater than to be respected, so I hope they remember the fact that I respected them and I expected respect in return, because I feel that if you have respect, you value the person and you want only the best for them. I want them to know that they have impacted my life, probably more than I have impacted theirs. And so I'm truly grateful and blessed for the career I had. A quote from Mother Teresa: "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." My name is Dolores Vega, and I am a teacher.